Welcome back. Well, it's been a few days since we've done a newscast. This newscast just came in. So hard to believe. You're wondering, how does stuff like that just come in? Well, we're on the Apostate channel, and the Apostate channel works seamlessly like a well-oiled machine, believe it or not. And how does that all happen? I don't know. We're going to talk about this on Friday. Are the apostates inspired? You remember Jeffrey Jackson said, well, we're not inspired. We make mistakes. Well, we all make mistakes. We all know that. But to admit that you're not inspired as a governing body of a religious organization, shame on you. Because I believe that we are inspired, all of us. So on Friday, we're going to have a special edition. We're going to cover the broadcast, the February broadcast, because it tackles the apostates again. It's hate literature. We're going to talk about this all on Friday. It'll be a special edition, and afterwards we will do the live. It'll be a live. And perhaps we'll have some interviews. We'll have some other apostates come online, and we can discuss this this thought a little further. So we'll see what happens on Friday, folks. We invite you to join us. Today, we are talking about news around the world. We're talking about Montana. Now, how does this news come to us? Well, like I said, it's a well-oiled machine, and watching the Watchtower, they are watching 24/7, and they get this news somehow. I don't know how they get it, don't know who they are, but they must be inspired. Now, we go all the way through this news thing here. They have a nice little breakdown of it. You can do that. We invite you to go and see them. I'll put a link to this in the description below, but thank you to Watching Watchtower for getting us this news bulletin out so quick. So, of course, we get on this right away so it's accurate and it's current. So here's what we're covering today. It's the court case. I'm going to get off the screen and let you look at it here. It's the court case in Montana. And here it is. Now, I just want to show you how current this is. This is pulled off. It's filed today. This is filed February the 6th. 2024 today. So this is brand new news, folks. We're going to cover it. Now, this is the Tracy Caekaert and Camillia Mapley. Now, if you remember that case, we go over to Avoid JW. They covered this. And this is the case where Philip Brumley was he was fined. He was fined $150,000 for deceiving the Montana court system. And this is a child sex abuse case. It's been going on for some time. This really goes to show what happens behind closed doors in the legal department of Jehovah's Witnesses. I thought this is very similar to the same guy here. Well, I'm gonna get off the screen again here. See that guy? That's the Norway lawyer. That's Rizdal. Look at him. And here's Philip Brumley. Look at him. Kind of the same guy, right? Almost. Very intense looking. There's Rizdal. Now, Rizdal, he's not a JW. He's a worldly lawyer they hired. And he overcharged the Watchtower. That case cost close to $500,000. The Norway court system says it's way too high. They can tax the court cases. When they tax them, that's like when they go in and figure out what it should be worth. So this Philip Brumley case, we're just going to read this a bit here. You probably remember a lot of this, but it helps us to set the stage for what we're covering, what just got filed today. And remember, Montana, Philip Brumley, the legal counsel for Jehovah's Witnesses, and I'll get off the screen here, we'll just read this together. He's the head of the legal department at the headquarters in Patterson, New York, and he was fined $154,448.11. And on June 22nd, 2020, he submitted an affidavit to the United States District Court of Montana, wherein he used language that was an intentional and sustained effort to deceive the court. And we covered that on other videos. Now, the affidavit was used in 2 cases involving child sex abuse, Caekaert and Mapley versus the Watchtower, and Rowland and Schultz. So there's 2 cases. Now, I'm just going to read a bit of this. On June 22nd, 2020, Philip Brumley submitted a 2.5-page affidavit on behalf of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York, Pennsylvania, to the District Court in Montana, and the purpose of the affidavit was to identify the roles and purposes of these legal entities. And Brumley's affidavit was curiously written in the present tense. Curious because the crimes of the child sex abuse took place in the past. You see, their elders book has changed. We covered that on this channel. If you look under elders book, just search it. And I'll cover anything you want on the elders book if you want. And I'll go back and do comparisons. And we've done that on the CSA. And we showed that it's different. They handled it a way different. When I was in the org, they handled it a way different, which really holds them up to be liable in so many different ways back then. And since all of this has come out in the Australia system, Watchtower has been very busy legally restructuring how their company looks on paper. And this is interesting. So that's what's happened here. Philip Brumley, he described the Watchtower as a publisher that was organized and exists under the laws of the states. And I'm just going to move off the screen here a bit for you to so you can see what I'm reading here. I'll just go like that. Okay. Now, so just in short here, Brumley claimed that the Watchtower was never going to conduct, or it was not registered to conduct business. Right here. It was not registered to conduct business in Montana and has no contact with congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses in Montana. He further stated that it does not establish or disseminate policy or procedures, appoint or remove elders, ministers, servants, or publishers. Instead, he says Watchtower exists to provide certain business needs of Jehovah's Witnesses, including, among other things, like holding copyrights and providing international humanitarian aid to the communities after a natural disaster. That's kind of how he pitched the Watchtower headquarters. So the plaintiff in the case, the child sex abuse victims, were let down by such a misleading affidavit. And this is more disappointing given the facts that Philip Brumley is the most senior lawyer of the religious group that requires its members to be honest in all things, right? Including being honest in the secular world. So their motions for sanctions against Philip Brumley, filed on January 10th, made the following hard-hitting statements. So they kind of hit them home. They won, and he had to pay out. He was charged. The order was filed August 23rd, 2022. It was we haven't heard much of Brumley since then. I'm going to put a link to that in the description. We're not going to cover that today. We're going to cover what's happened now on this case today. So today, this is what's being filed. Tracy Caekaert. We're going to go right down to page. We're just going to read part of it. It's a 40-page affidavit. Again, I'll link that if you guys like reading and you're, legal type people. You might want to read it. Now, here's what they. This is right at the beginning. The Watchtower Bible and Tract put out. They responded. They said the governing body is a small group of spiritually mature Christians who provide spiritual guidance to Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide. The governing body follows the pattern set by the apostles and elders in Jerusalem in the first century, who made important decisions on behalf of the entire Christian congregation. Like those faithful men, the members of the governing body are not leaders of Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm going to repeat that, folks. This is a legal document. Like those faithful men, the members of the governing body are not leaders of Jehovah's Witnesses. So does that mean they're not, well, they already came down and said they're not inspired. Remember that? Do you think they did that for legal reasons? Like to try to use that as a legal argument? Because in that same talk, they said, but we're the faithful and discreet slave. That's the annual meeting. We covered it in many videos. They said, we're the faithful slave. You know, God's working through us. Listen to us. We're the boss. They say it over and over again. But here, they're saying that they're nobody. They're nobody. He says, like those faithful men, the members of the governing body are not leaders of Jehovah's Witnesses. The governing body serves in Warwick, New York, USA. You know, they just print stuff. They have copyrights. And what do you guys think? That's how they're pitching themselves. Now, we're going to go all the way down to page 40. Let's see what the court said. Did they believe it? What happened? Okay, page 40 is all the way at the end. There's where the signatures are. So we're going to go right up here. We're not going to read everything, but we're going to read the main stuff. What happened? So here's the conclusion. You see it above my head? It is so ordered. So here it is, the plaintiff, Tracy Caekaert, and sorry, Tracy, if I said your name wrong, and Camillia, Mapley's motion for sanction is granted as to the Watchtower Tract, New York's failure to comply with the order and need for a remedy, and denied as the plaintiff's request remedy. The following facts are deemed established. The governing body, the governing body adopts guidelines for the qualifications for the appointment of local elders based on Holy Scriptures. Governing body. B, the governing body approves all letters to the congregation concerning matters of policy. C, the governing body oversees and promulgation of policies while they pump it out, right? That's what that word means to me. So they oversee the pumping out of policies and procedures for all persons associated with Jehovah's Witnesses. Elders book, right? The secret elders book. D, the governing body has ultimate authority to bar a person from serving in positions of responsibility with Jehovah's Witness organization. Absolutely, that's what they've set out. E, the governing body establishes policies and procedures for local congregation elders to investigate and respond to allegations of serious sin, including child sex abuse. It's all in the elders' books. And F, the U.S. branch office puts on training conventions to teach local elders how to do their jobs. They have videos, how to get rid of other elders if their kids are taking higher education, all kinds of stuff. G, elders direct questions on how to follow Jehovah's Witness policies to the U.S. branch office. Yeah, all the elders book says call the branch, call the branch. Call the branch. You call the branch pretty well for everything. It's in the elders book, right? H, Jehovah's Witness circuit overseers visit local congregations and report their activities to the U.S. branch offices. And all over the world, that's how it works. We all know that. I, from the 1970s to 2001, the U.S. branch office worked in concert with the Watchtower, New York, to inform local congregations of the appointment and removal of elders. Yes, they did. J, the U.S. branch office is the U.S. division of the Jehovah's Witness organization where central control over U.S. congregations is based. K, Watchtower, New York is a legal parent organization of all the congregations in the U.S. and the world. It doesn't say the world, but this is about the U.S. But all over the world. They own it all. L, the operation of the local congregation's Kingdom Hall is under the direction of the theocratic organization, i.e., governing body, Watchtower, New York, and the U.S. branch office. M, local congregations operate under the direction of the governing body. N, a prospective local congregation must apply to Watchtower, New York, or the U.S. branch office to be approved as an entity with the organization. Absolutely. All the congregations are approved. They hold a big, when they build a new hall, they have a big celebration, and so they call it a hall dedication to Jehovah, and someone from the branch office comes out usually. Well, for an assembly hall, they do, for sure. Now, from the 1970s to 2001, the U.S. branch office assisted local elders in administering discipline to local congregation members who committed serious sin. And P, local congregations could not exist without the expressed permission of the U.S. branch office, which includes Watchtower New York and the governing body. We should give them a big applaud. They nailed it. The court nailed it. Now, thanks to those two ladies that were fighting this sex abuse. I'll get their names in a minute. Now, let's carry on. Within 30 days of this order, plaintiffs' counsel shall file a pleading setting forth the amount of expenses and attorney fees recoverable for their work, finding the attached exhibits not disclosed to them in discoveries, and preparing the instant motion. The plaintiff's counsel also shall file an affidavit itemizing those expenses and fees within 30 days of this order. And Watchtower New York shall have 14 days to respond. And the court will then issue a second order specifying the amount of the sanctions and award and setting the time of payment. Dated the 6th day of February 2024, Susan P. Waters, the United States District Judge, right there above my head. So that's really interesting. This is a really interesting case. And remember, folks, these cases are studied. These case laws are studied now all over the world. All this comes out in court. This goes to show the audience out there, everyone out there, that this has been going on. We're going to go all the way up to Brumley. Yeah. This Philip Brumley, Watchtower's lawyer, this is the case where and that's not included here. Like, he's already been fined $150K for deceiving the Montana court in this case. So this has been going on all over the world, folks. This is how Watchtower's winning cases. People are having a hard time going up against them because they're paying double the fees. They're hiring these kinds of guys. This is the Norway guy. Double the fees. They paid this guy $500,000 US dollars. That's not even including their own lawyers. This is worldly lawyer. And this guy Brumley's a JW. Now, it really looks bad when the JW lies in court like he did, and he got caught, fined, and now this is all coming out, and it's all being cleaned up. The courts actually know how this Jehovah's Witness religion works. Thanks to the Montana court system, sticking it out. Susan Waters, and the two ladies there. What were their names? Caekaert and Mapley versus the Watchtower, and Roland and Schultz V versus the Watchtower. It cost these people a lot of money to fight the Watchtower, so we want to give a big thumbs up to those ones that are brave enough to do that and have the ability to do this. And once it starts winning, folks, it's a domino effect because they're looking at this all over the world. Even Jehovah's Witnesses are pulling up case law all over the world to try to defend their freedom of religion, right? They're trying to hide under freedom of religion in Norway and other parts of the world. And they're trying to say that it allows us to shun and it allows us to do all these things, but it's all part of our freedom of religion. And we're all sanctioned by the UN and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes up. But we're going to talk about this further on Friday. And we're going to look at the broadcast. And they're hurting. And if you're an apostate out there, feel honored. Feel honored. Because on their broadcast in February, a big chunk of it was all about us. They really like us. Like, I really think they like us. We're helping them to make a lot of changes. So I'm honored, and I'm going to put a little bit of work into this for Friday. We'll meditate about it. They're not inspired, but maybe we are. Maybe there's something pushing all of us to do this. I can give you a hint. There's no big secret here, folks. It's simply love. Love. Love for our fellow neighbor. The golden rule. Do unto others as you'd like them to do to us. Love. God is love. Man is made in the image of God, so we have that in us. And I think that's what inspires us. We're going to talk about it on Friday further. So thanks again, and we'll see you later. Bye for now. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate your comments, your dislikes, and your likes. If you would like to support the channel, just press join and buy us a coffee once a month. Until next time, keep dancing, smiling, laughing, and most of all, keep loving those around you. And have a great day.
Produced by Fixing My Faith.